I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. We've got another extremely stacked weekend in front of us. It's going to be awesome. It's kind of like Barney Gumble. When Barney Gumble won the Springfield Film Festival and his award was a lifetime supply of Duff beer, and he said, "Just hook me up. Just hook me up." Basically, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hook myself up to a computer this weekend. And truth be told, by the end of this winter, I think I'm going to be paler than Marilyn Manson. As I haven't left the house very much since the college football and professional football seasons have begun. You throw in the World Cup of Rugby, you throw in the UFC, and oh yeah, Floyd Mayweather and Victor Ortiz are fighting. Pass. You know what? I am very interested in the Jake Shields, Jake Ellenberger tilt, though. Jake Shields recently lost his father, a sudden passing, and very, very close to his father was Jake Shields. In fact, Jake Shields' his father was actually his manager. Jake Shields would not have been criticized by anybody, including his boss, Dana White, if he had chosen not to fight a very, very lethal contender in the other Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger definitely has an advantage when it comes to standing up. But the fact of the matter is, Jake Shields just finds ways of winning fights. And it seems like a lot of people have abandoned Jake Shields after his loss to George St. Pierre. Now, no doubt about it, Jake Shields did not fight a Jake Shields type of fight against George St. Pierre, but George St. Pierre is one of the best fighters in the world. I don't believe that Jake Ellenberger will pose the same challenge to Jake Shields. I believe that Jake Shields will take a couple of shots, but he will be able to impose his will. Now, it's going to be an emotional night in Louisiana. The battle on the bayous, the throwing it down in New Orleans. Going to be an emotional night, not only because of Jake Shields, but it's the return of Alan Belcher as well. Now, a lot of fighters return from injury, but this one's a little bit different, as Alan Belcher actually, thought he was going to be blind in one of his eyes. He actually lost vision in one of his eyes for a prolonged period of time, but here he is fighting in the octagon. Now, it's been about 2 years since he's been in a cage, and ring rust is real. But the bottom line is, Alan Belcher is just too good not to win this fight against Jason the Athlete McDonald. If it was a couple of years ago, I think Jason the Athlete McDonald would give Belcher a tougher fight. And I like the athlete, but I like Belcher in this spot better. And if you parlay Jake Shields and Alan Belcher, you're looking at a small plus money parlay. That's what's going to be in my back pocket on Saturday night. I'm also going to take a shot with Court McGee. The Eric Koch, Jonathan Brookins fight is tough, man. And you look at this fight on paper, and Eric Koch probably wins it, but there's something about Jonathan Brookins is very Jake Shields-ish. He just finds ways to winning fights, although he's coming off of so many injuries, and he hasn't fought in a little while. Eric Koch, I understand why he's the favorite, but Brookins might be worth a look as a pretty big underdog. Now, as far as the boxing is concerned, just give us Pacquiao and Mayweather. The fact that these two guys are fighting in Vegas a month apart is even more insulting. And if they fight when they're 42 years old, it doesn't matter. It's a lot like Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins. When they actually fought again, it really sucked. And I don't know how it sucked so much, because the executioner can actually still fight, but I guess he forgot to when he fought Roy Jones Jr., one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'm not excited for this Mayweather fight. Will I watch it? Yes. While I'm watching the college football, while I'm watching the UFC. Hell, I might even be watching some baseball as things are starting to get interesting as the pennant drive is on. But looking at the numbers, and I have some interesting props for this boxing match, you clearly can't lay 7-14 with Mayweather. Although anyone that's ever bet against Mayweather has never won that bet. Mayweather's never lost a fight, and he's not losing this fight. Could Ortiz beat him? Maybe, but maybe you're going to get hit by a bus after you watch this video. Sorry to be so negative. It is what it is. It's not going to happen. I don't think Mayweather's going to knock him out, though. I think Mayweather to win a decision at minus 175 is definitely worth a look. You know what else is going to be worth a look? Friday night's Boise State-Toledo game at the Glass Bowl. It's fitting that they're playing at the Glass Bowl because the total is going to get shattered. This game's going over the number. The Toledo Rockets will not be able to stop Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is the best quarterback in college football that nobody ever talks about. The guy is a machine out there, a pure winner, and Boise State are legitimate national championship contenders, but Friday nights, man, have become that night in which it's just absolute craziness. And this Toledo Rocket team can move the football on anybody. You score 22 points in Columbus at the Horseshoe against Ohio State. That impresses me. Terrence Owens is a very impressive young quarterback. They run that spread offense. This football team is capable of beating better football teams. They absolutely drilled Colorado on this field before. And in fact, the Toledo Rockets are 4-0 all time against ranked opponents. Now, Boise State's a different breed. The spread is just so incredibly high, though. I love the over in this game, and don't be surprised if Toledo hangs around. And when you're getting 20 points in a football game, even if they're down by 24, even if they're down by 27 late, there's always room for that backdoor cover. Now, last week we did very well with our college football selections. If you'll notice, there's been a lot of overs cashing in. Never mind that Mississippi State, LSU game. Now, it's good news, bad news. So a ton of great college football games on, but unfortunately, we're going to have to watch the most annoying commercial on TV over and over and over again. That free credit score commercial. I would literally like to smash the guitar over the guitarist's head. I like to punch the singer in the face, especially if your team just fumbles. You know, your team fumbles, they go to a break, free credit score, like really, I'm going to freaking snap. I can't get to the mute fast enough, and I'm going to be hitting the mute a lot this Saturday because I'm going to have money on a lot of games. Tennessee, Florida used to be one of the best rivalries in the SEC, and I think it's going to be once again soon. Tennessee are back, baby. Tennessee are for real. Bray is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. This guy's going to move the yardsticks. I think that game's going to go over the number. I don't think Tennessee are going to hang around. How can you lay points with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? I tell you what, for a team that supposedly has God on their side, they certainly turn the football over a lot, don't they? Notre Dame, there's no luck of the Irish with this team whatsoever. They go up and down the field and they turn the ball over in the red zone. Now, you're not going to be able to top what we saw with Michigan and Notre Dame last week. That was one of the best, if not the best, ending to a college football game that I've ever seen. Not only because I had Michigan plus the points and on the money line, and I had the over, and it seemingly wasn't going to make it to the over, but this Saturday, I think there's going to be a lot of overs. Michigan State own Notre Dame. Games are always close, but Michigan State always wins. Michigan State are a better football team than Notre Dame. Notre Dame are all hype. They have talent, but evidently Kelly's not getting the most out of this talent because this football team makes a hell of a lot of mistakes. And even if they win this football game, I don't think they win this football game by more than 5 points. I think it's going to be close. And hell, last year the game went to overtime and Michigan State had to get it done with a fake field goal in what was a classic. Don't miss that game. It's going to be a good one. Miami Hurricanes, Ja'Cory Harris comes back, so what? I'll take Ohio State. Let's take a look at the National Football League. There's going to be a huge overreaction as far as what we saw in week one. Props to my favorite team, the Buffalo Bills, for getting it done against the Kansas City Chiefs. I told you they're going to get it done in this video. I'm not running to my computer to click the Buffalo Bills this week. The Raiders were very impressive. And I think this Buffalo Bill game is going to be similar to that Mississippi State LSU game, actually. Both teams will be looking to run the football, spray it downfield a little bit, but I think it's going to be a hard-hitting slugfest with the Buffalo Bills and the Raiders. I think points are going to be in a premium, and truth be told, I think you could tease either side of this game and actually win some money. Now, one of the marquee games of the week, the San Diego Chargers. Nate Keating's a joke. He's not missing field goals. He's getting hurt while kicks are getting returned for touchdowns. But the San Diego Chargers, I believe, will hang around with the New England Patriots. I'm surprised we're not getting more points in this game, but San Diego can move the football on anybody. They will move the football on the New England Patriots, and they historically have moved the football on the New England Patriots. The Patriots were carved up by the Miami Dolphins, but the Patriots just were unstoppable offensively. I don't see how this game stays under the number, even though it's extremely high for an NFL number. I'm going to take the over, and we'll wrap it up with Michael Vick's return to Atlanta. I'd really, really like to take the Atlanta Falcons in this spot, but all the pressure in the world right now are on the Atlanta Falcons. They underachieved in the playoffs last year. High hopes, high expectations coming into this year. They get their ass handed to them by the Chicago Bears. Matt Ryan is suddenly regressing. And now you have Michael Vick coming to town. There's going to be a ton of Michael Vick jerseys in the Georgia Dome. It's going to be an emotional night there. And it just seems to me that there's a hell of a lot more pressure on the Atlanta Falcons, not just because of Vic, but because they need to win football games. And they need to win football games in a hurry. The NFC is a tough conference. It's going to be a great football game. I think there will be points scored, and I don't want to take the easy way out here, but I'm going to be looking to tease this football game. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do yet with it. The NFL, to me, I'm more of a college guy. The NFL still feeling it out right now because week one, it doesn't mean anything, and we're going to see teams really start to come into their own after 3 and 4 weeks right now. And let's wrap it up with some baseball. Now, truth be told, I don't hit the baseball card very heavy right now at this time of the year. But I would suggest just hammer the stud pitchers. They're all motivated to win 20 games. And if they get to 20, they want more. They have bonuses for the Cy Youngs. Clayton Kershaw, he's going to get to 20. Cliff Lee's on a collision course with 20. Doc Holliday, etc. You go down the list, and these quality pitchers aren't letting up. You figure, what's the motivation of the Detroit Tigers if they already have their division wrapped up? Verlander's trying to rewrite the record books. So they're motivated by greed, just like us. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.